Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. If you are on the podcast platforms, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you are on YouTube, go ahead and do the same, as well as hitting that like button. It's like hitting the light switch when you walk into the room. And let's get into this conversation / reality chat. I'm going to make this as brief as possible, but it's sad to see Sheree Whitfield, who has been on the Real Housewives of Atlanta off and on, because she has not been a consistent figure on the show, but she was on the show from the very first season, and she has consistently showcased that she talks a lot of big talk, but she really does not walk it. And it's really sad to see that. Because in this last season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, we saw her losing in the love department. She was dating an incarcerated felon for, I guess, a few years. And then when he finally got released to a halfway house, he pretty much didn't really want to have much to do with her. And so after dealing with that depression on camera, she decided to put her focus back into her brand, She by Sheree. And we've talked about that before on this channel, on this platform before, when it comes to She by Sheree, because I just don't believe that she is a real legitimate business person. She has allegedly stiffed a lot of people around the Atlanta area that she has hired to do different jobs for her. And then to see her doing this fashion show on the last episode, the finale episode of the RHOA, and a lot of people were giving her a lot of kudos for it, but it ultimately became a big fizzle and a fail, because a lot of the fashions that she was showing on social media were dupes or copies of other things that were fairly cheaper on other spaces like Amazon and Shein than it was on her website, as well as a number of things that were on the runway were not things that were actually available to purchase from her line. So it just made it seem like, well, you really were just doing this for the show. You really were just doing this for the show, okay? And then there were all of the problems with the website and whatnot. And then we've heard that Sheree and Martell, ex-husband to Melody Sheree of Love and Marriage Huntsville, and we know how that relationship played out on television, and what they shared about their real life experiences, that this man is just like not good for anyone. And she would be the one, right? Sheree would be the one to pick up those scraps and take them over. And now we're hearing that she is looking for interns through social media, through Twitter. She's looking for interns and assistants on Twitter. I'm saying, I get that sometimes you will have people that have some reality celebrity-ness of themselves, and they may put a post on social media because they have a lot of followers, so they would get people that would be interested in ultimately working with them. So it's like, I guess, a cheap way to go about it. But I would think someone that has the Chateau Sheree, this multi-million-dollar mansion, as well as who has been on television for a lot of years and has this amazing business, She by Sheree, she would actually have maybe, if not an HR department that would handle hiring for her, she would have a temp agency or some sort of agency that would do that for her and look for people for her to work with, versus putting a post on social media and having people send in resumes to a Gmail email address. Look, I'm not knocking anyone that has a Gmail address. I have one, but I have a lot of different email addresses, and I have been in business for a lot of years. And for the businesses that I do have, I have biz at thebusinessname.com or info@thebusinessname.com or maybe my name at thebusinessname.com. I don't have Gmail or Yahoo email addresses, AOL, MSN, whatever, Outlook for those email addresses. I have professional email addresses for my professional business. And it to me just seems that she isn't really serious about business when it comes to something like that, and you're looking for interns. And how ironic, you would be looking for interns. I would assume that the interns are going to be unpaid because again, it's alleged that she doesn't even really like to pay people that she's hired to do jobs for her. And it was even brought up on the Real Housewives of Atlanta's reunion when she was asked about that, when she was questioned about stiffing people that she's hired to do things. She didn't say no, she didn't say yes, but she did say, well, if I hire someone to do something and it doesn't pan out or come out or turn out the way that I want it to, or I'm not happy with the work, then why would I pay for that? What? Who does that in business and can continue to operate? So it's no surprise to me that she just is not winning when it comes to business. And then you flip the page and then you look at someone like Melody Sheree, formerly Melody Holt, who has done nothing but upgrade since she has left that toxic marriage and relationship with her former husband, now children's father, Martell, because she is doing producing, she's acting, she's modeling, she's been doing so much, she's singing, she has collaborated with a designer, Jay Boland, for this fashion line that really looks amazing pieces. And it's almost like Melody Sheree is giving Martell and Sheree, I'm just going to put it out there, I'm not saying she's doing that, but it's almost the proverbial F you to both of them to say, Martell, this is what success really looks like, and I'm doing it without you. And oh, by the way, Sheree, you might want to do yourself a favor and drop that zero and just get on your grind and focus on your business, and maybe you can win like me too. Because when we found out that she was quote unquote dating Martell, first of all, not saying the age should stop her, but she is older than Martell. So it's usually supposed to be with age comes some wisdom. Supposed to be that way. It's not always that way, and I get it. But it's sad to see that Sheree, who is at the age that she's at now, is making really idiotic decisions when it comes to business and when it comes to men. Why would you get with this man? And that is a mistake that so many women make. Why would you get with this man who has shown how toxic he is in relationships? A lot of women make the mistake of thinking, well, that was her. He's not going to be that way with me because I'm different. It's not about the woman. It's about the man and how he operates and how he lives and how he's out here operating the way that he operates, how he was raised, whatever things were instilled in his spirit and in his mind, and the things that he learned from his youth up through adulthood to create the creature that he has become, along with a lot of other, honestly, I do believe in this, a lot of other spiritual things that people deal with that they don't acknowledge and recognize and deal with, that they ultimately turn into these narcissistic human beings that you really can't do a whole lot with. And there is no woman that could be with a person like that and think that the relationship is going to work out. It's not. I'm not saying Sheree's trying to get married to the man, but what I am saying is that Martell really isn't good for anybody. And his now baby mama, who has the infamous nickname Coleslaw, she was never going to be that one. She was never going to be that woman that was going to get this man and make him settle down and be this upstanding human being. He never was going to be that with her. But it's not even just her. He's never going to be that way with anyone, because he is always thinking that he is the victim. And so with men like that, you really cannot win. So, unless Sheree's just hot in the pants and she's just, down for the get down and is just having a little bit of fun and she doesn't care about all that, hey, that's on you too, because I don't even understand people who operate in that way, because ultimately you're not an animal, you're a human being, and you really shouldn't even be operating in that way where you're thinking with your loins instead of with your brains. But that's neither here nor there. You don't hear a lot of people talking that way these days because it just is what it is. Different days, different times. I get it. But Martell definitely downgraded. He downgraded, but he had no choice because Melody just wasn't going to put up with that. And that is the example of something that I actually discussed on my other platform, on my other channel, where I talked about how you have to get rid of dead weight in order to really grow and succeed. And she did that. That is a perfect example of getting rid of the dead weight. And Sheree, who was already sinking, allowed that dead weight to be tossed over onto her ship. And she really thinks that she's going to sail. It's not going to happen. It's going down, but it's not going down. The ship is sinking. So you guys let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. And until the next time, guys, this is Beth, and I'm just being beautifully honest. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And until the next time, I'm just being beautifully honest.